Welcome to this edition of Miles Ahead, and you join me here inside a Seat Leon e-hybrid FR. Now we're going to have a look at the exterior, interior and take it for a drive, but we'll just start with a few facts and figures on this car. So the starting price in FR mode is £32,945. This model as tested is £34,145. So the options to note: there's a charging cable module which is £145. It's got safety and driving pack which is £790. Now that includes things like adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. It's got the traffic sign recognition system in there as well. It's actually pretty good. And the interior wraparound lighting at £295. So reason for buying one of these: it's hybrid, so benefit in kind tax rate, I know it's boring to talk about, but it's very relevant if you're looking at one of these as a company car, is only 7%, whereas the equivalent FR petrol car, the benefit in kind rate is 29%, although that car is some £6,000 cheaper. So yeah, we'll discuss it a bit more on the drive along, but yeah, let's get started and have a look around. And here it is, the Seat Leon e-hybrid FR. I think it's quite a good looking car actually. Comes in this urban silver colour. So the FR is the step up from the sort of standard Seat Leon. They also do the Excellence and Excellence Luxe packages as well. But stepping up to FR, one of the things it gives you is these LED headlights, and they do a really good job as well. And when we're down here, another of the FR options is the 17-inch wheels, upgraded from the standard 16-inch wheels. So as we come round the back further, so you get privacy glass in the rear. You put petrol in the back there. The electric charger is round the front. I think it looks good from the back as well. I like the wraparound tail light as well. I think that suits the profile of the car quite well. Come in, have a look at the badging as well. So you've got the FR e-hybrid badge there, and in case you're wondering what it is, it's a Leon. There it is there, and you get these exhaust pipes which are, they're there for aesthetics, but they suit the profile of the car quite well. So it being a hybrid, has a stated electric only range of 36 to 40 miles. Now, in reality you're not going to get that. For the first 40 miles of driving this car, which included putting it in sport and using the hybrid mode to bring in the engine into play and just giving it a bit of a push, we did get 115 miles to the gallon. So if you've got a charging point at home and you can keep it topped up, that's viable. And even from a 3-pin socket at home, this car will charge in a maximum of 5 hours. It's 3 to 5 depending on what power you've got. But yeah, I think it all looks good from the outside. Let's see what it's like inside. And we'll start with the boot, because obviously that's a very important facet of any family car. So push the S logo in there. So I've left my baby's pram wheels in there and coat and everything, so you can see that there is actually a fair bit of storage space in there, which is good. And the cables are tucked away underneath there for charging as well. So yeah, on the boot space size, not bad at all. Now let's have a look inside. We'll start with the rear of the car. Come in here, so as you can see there's plenty of space in here. So this is fitted with the black fabric and lava red stitching, it's called, but yeah, I quite like the way it looks in there. But we'll jump in and have a closer look around. So you've got 3-zone climate controls. There's 2 USB-C chargers there, and then you can control the heating in the back there. Bit of storage there as well. You can see through to the front. So yeah, I'm 6'2". I've absolutely no problems with the headroom in here at all. And yeah, regarding legroom as well, yeah, there's ample space in here. You'd be very comfortable doing sort of day-to-day family stuff in here. It's got Isofix as well. You can see down there, which makes it handy. And there is also a rear armrest as well, with through loading to the boot, so you can get in there and get your bits out easily on the move. So yeah, all in all, very practical, very spacious, no complaints. Let's see what it's like up top. So this is the view from the driver's seat of the Seat Leon, and everything's really nicely laid out in here actually. I do quite like it. I do like the contrast stitching. I think that works well, and all the driver controls are very easy to navigate down here. Put your foot on the brake, hit stop start, select your gear with this, P, nice and easy. Space for your key as well. As we move down here, you do get a couple of cup holders, and there's a storage bin in here as well. And this stays at different levels, so you've got a more adaptable armrest, which is quite useful. Going down here, 2 USB-C chargers down there, and there's a wireless charging pad down here as well, which is part of the FR pack you get. We'll just have a quick look in the glove box. Plenty of space in there, standard stuff, and door bins, plenty of space in there for putting your cups, bottles and anything else that needs to go in there as well, and fuel filler cap open from here. Now, as regards driving, there's a new infotainment system on this, which is a little bit fiddly for the HVAC and turning the heating up, because you've got to use these, you've got to sort of slide your finger across and you can see the heat change in there, and it's a little bit imprecise. And it's the same with the volume control across here, although it does have volume control on the steering wheel, which is very useful indeed. But it's got some quite clever functions in here. So if we go across to like eye climate, for example, so if you want to warm your hands, warm your feet, all that sort of business, you can specify it to do that. Comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, again really useful. And as we come across the driving position here, so it's quite a configurable view in the dashboard, so you can set it up the way that you want it to be set up and look through all manner of information in there, and the map's pretty clear, and I quite like it. It's pretty well laid out. So you can see what we've done so far. So we've covered 71 miles at 71.9 mpg. As you can see, the battery is all but flat there, so it does regen a little bit under braking, so you never really get down to 0% in it, so there's always a little bit of battery push to help get you moving and that sort of thing. Coming away from that, I mean, I do just quite like the way it's laid out in here. I think it's got quite a nice feel to it. I mean, my only real complaint is these flappy paddles and the gearbox. I mean, they are, they really do look like an afterthought. Unfortunately, they don't feel very nice either to the touch, which is a shame, because like the heated steering wheel is a really nice touch. I like the way this is all laid out here. It's intelligently done, and accessing your cruise control and stuff from the steering wheel, I think is really useful. But yeah, I mean, if you're complaining about flappy paddles that you're probably not going to use anyway, it's not really that sort of car, then that's not too bad at all. I do quite like the cabin in here. Yeah, as I mentioned, plenty of headroom. Don't feel cramped in here at all. You can get everything that you need in. So yeah, no faults really on that side of things, but let's see what it's like out on the road. So what's the Seat Leon e-hybrid FR like out on the road? Well, we'll start with the acceleration. And it does pick up quite nicely actually. So you get the instant power delivery from standstill is delivered by the battery, then once you exceed the power output from that, it then switches to the combustion engine, and it transfers in quite an unfussy manner actually. Some other hybrids that we've driven, the power delivery's been a bit confused, and you put your foot down, you're just sort of waiting for something to happen while it works out whether to use the battery or the engine or both, and the power delivery in this is actually quite smooth. So doing 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds, and there's enough to play with there actually. You would enjoy this. I mean, obviously predominantly this is a family hatchback and it's marketed and designed as such, but once you've dropped the kids off and all that sort of stuff, you can there's definitely enough to play with here. And on a decent B road, the steering's sharp and accurate enough. I mean, it's light, there's no feedback, but it's not designed to be that way. But yeah, this is quite impressive. Now, we mentioned benefit in kind rates at the top of the video. Very boring type of conversation, I know, but it's very relevant to hybrids, because it seems to be the only use case for them really is if you are getting a company car. So that benefit in kind rate, as I mentioned, is 7% on this. The comparable FR petrol engine is 1.5 litre petrol engine is 29% benefit in kind. So your company tax is going to go through the roof on that. But if you're buying it as a personal purchase or leasing it, that battery is in effect costing you £6,000. That's a lot of money. So you're going from £33,000 for this to £27,000 for the petrol engine equivalent. And I really like the way this car's appointed actually. And I think for £27,000 you're straying into the realms of that being incredibly good value for a car like this. It's jam-packed full of really neat features. Park itself and all that sort of thing. It's got adaptive cruise control, and it's really quite well thought out and quite well appointed. There's a couple of issues with the infotainment system, not least doing the HVAC, but you'd get over that and you'd get used to it. So having hybrids, £6,000, if you're buying it with your own money, probably not worth it, but as a company car, yeah, definitely. One annoying feature about the drive is the lane keep assistant. You can turn it off down here, press the button and into the stalk, and you use the OK button on the other side of the steering wheel, and you can turn that off. You do notice it. I mean, it can be quite overbearing, and it gets confused like when you go from 2 lanes to 1 or 1 into 2, and you can feel the steering wheel go taut in your hands, and it's, you know, it takes you back a little bit. So that's a little bit fussy. I've experienced that across other VW group cars as well. Works quite well in tandem with the adaptive cruise control though, so if you're on a motorway and that sort of thing, then yeah, it comes into its own in that setting. Regarding charging this, you can do it off a 3-pin plug at home in anything between 3 and 5 hours, so that's okay. It does have regenerative braking as well, and now that is quite a clever feature on this car because it does work in tandem with the safety and drivers pack that we mentioned at the top. So it recognises road signs and speed limits, so when you lift off, if you're exceeding the speed limit, it will slow you down and, you know, use that braking to put a bit of power back into the battery. And it also recognises, so if you're going from say a 40 to a 30 and you've let off or you're on the cruise control, then that will slow you down to the 30-mile-an-hour zone. So yeah, it's pretty clever. It's pretty well done actually. It takes a little bit getting used to it first because you're thinking, oh, I don't want it to be braking at the moment, but it does it in tandem with what's going on. It also senses if you're too close to the car in front, or if the car in front is braking, it will then also brake to add some regenerative braking to the battery. So all in all, I've been quietly impressed with this car. I think it's really well put together. I think it's good looking. I've always liked the way the Seat Leon looks, and it works really well as a family hatchback. Yeah, and you can enjoy it as well if you do want to behave like a bit of a hooligan. There is a little bit to play with there as well. So on the whole, there's not really a great deal to fault, other than, yeah, no, if you're buying it, money's coming out of your own back pocket, you definitely want to be having a look at the petrol equivalent. But for a company car and you need a family hatchback, then very little fault here, and it's yeah, I would say represents really good value. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing as well. We've got loads of videos already on the channel, and we've got loads more coming up as well. We've got a Kia Stinger GTS up next, then we've got a Lexus RX. We're hoping to review the Range Rover SV Autobiography, and hopefully the Lamborghini Aventador S. So yeah, we've got a few irons in the fire. We're speaking to other people about other cars as well, so there'll be loads more coming up on the channel. Hopefully see you there for that too. Thanks.